Hello everyone and welcome to Drilling Deeper at mining.com.au. I'm Oriel Morrison. Joining me today is Tara French. Tara is the Managing Director of Cazaly Resources. Tara, it's good to have you with us today. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Oriel. Great to be.
Now, you've got some more detail on your drilling results at Gungarry. Can you update us?
Yeah, that's correct. So initially our RC drilling, our very first campaign that we did out at Gungarry, we assayed 4-metre composite samples and we got all the results for those that were reported. And we just recently received our 1-metre split. So this is the 1-metre samples within those 4-metre composites. And the results are great. I mean, they really show that these intercepts hold up. In some instances, the grade has increased. In some instances, the grade has decreased. But nonetheless, the intercepts that we do have been, just reinforced with those 1-metre splits. We got some really good numbers, and our geology exploration manager is actually had a chance to pan some of these samples. So it's always good to see what type of visible gold you have, what's the content of silver or whatever. And, it looks like we've got pretty decent gold there, obviously some very fine fraction, and we've got little sort of chunks up to 2 millimetres. So it's pretty exciting. It's good to see it.
Now, there are some slight differences between your projects. Correct me if I'm wrong, between what you're finding for Duchess and Duke of York.
Yeah, so interestingly, the Duke of York is much closer to a sediment contact. Nonetheless, it is still hosted in mafics. And the Duchess prospect, which is the new prospect that we basically, well, it's a prospect now because we, jagged it in this campaign. So the drilling that we're going to be doing in the next phase should really help us to define more around what's the potential extent of this. So the Duchess was quite a broad shear zone. Initially, when we assayed the 4-metre composites, it came back at 20 metres at 1.9, and now the new results have come back at 19 metres at 1.5, which is still a great result, and it just shows that mineralised zone does hold up through the 1-metre samples. So now the idea is to, once we get the aircore rig moving, drill to the north and drill to the south and also to the west. So we can get a much better idea of the actual width of this alteration zone and the mineralisation. And then the next phase will be obviously to come back and drill deeper with the RC rig. So it's, really exciting times. And I think the 1-metre splits also confirmed the mineralisation at Duke of York. We do see we have some very, very high grade gold. I think we had up to 56.3 grams per tonne in a 1-metre sample. So, we do know we have very high grade narrow zones, but also we do have that broad shear zone as well as Duchess. So at Duchess, so it's exciting, and there's potential there for obviously high grades in an open cut, and potential for high grades at depth underground too.
So, Tara, for the investors out there who are listening today, what's the timeline that we can expect in terms of better clarification, more drill results, and when do you start further drilling on future projects?
The aircore is going to be out there very, very soon, so that's good news. And then we're also getting some further studies done on the geology, geophysics in the background. And that's really going to help us focus our next phase of deeper drilling. So once the aircore drilling is completed and we have assays back, the timeline to be able to have a fairly decent geological geophysical study report completed as well. And this will really help us focus in on the next phase of RC. Obviously, we've already got targets that were generated in the first phase of RC drilling. Nonetheless, the aircore program will generate more targets. So we're looking forward to that. And then, we will have a fairly decent campaign of RC drilling. At this point, I can't say how much because it all depends on how many new targets we find with the aircore rig. But nonetheless, while we're getting good results, we'll just continue to drill and keep returning those good results. So it's exciting.
And what a time to be doing it with the gold price where it is.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. Great to be back in gold, I can tell you.
Absolutely. Well, Tara, it was wonderful to have you with us today. We look forward to chatting again, by the sounds of it, very soon.
Absolutely. More news very soon.